Hi friends, most of you may be thinking about what's your future after your plus 2 class or higher secondary. Mostly people, especially parents, compel the students to apply for the professional courses like medicine, engineering, etc. But do we have anything else than these professional courses? Yes, of course, we have the science courses. You are studying biology, physics, chemistry, mathematics, all these things in your higher secondary class. You may be interested in most of these subjects also. But when it comes to taking a course for the degree, most of you have some apprehensions. Whether my future will be good if I take science courses? Can I make a living if I take a degree in science? Even some of your teachers may say that, okay, science is good, but it is always better to take professional courses. So today we will see what are the opportunities that is available for a science student and how we have to build a career in science. See, you have seen the successful launch of our Chandrayaan 3. See, how is it possible? Or we are going for the launch of Aditya, our solar mission. So do you think all these things happened in one fine morning? No. There are a lot of researchers working behind the scene who are physicists, chemists, of course engineers, even biologists are working. We have an enormous potential to explore in the world of science. From morning to evening, you just look at your day. Can you find at least one thing where there is no influence of science? What do you do in the morning? You brush your teeth, right? After that, you take your breakfast. Then you go to school by carrying your books, pen, laptops. Or you watch movies in the TV. You play. See, in every field of your daily life, we have the influence of science. Without science, we cannot think of a day. Without science, human being may not exist. So when we have this much of potential, why don't you study science after your plus 2? Right? See, after your plus 2, if you want to study science, you identify the subject of your choice. I won't say that only one particular subject is good or bad. You identify which subject you like most, whether it is botany, zoology, chemistry, physics, mathematics, or even arts subject. Arts is, of course, is part of science, right? You may be interested in studying the history of science, that forms the art subject. So you identify your passion and you join for a course in a good college. Some of you may be interested only in studying in colleges near to you. But if you want to become a successful person, identify an institution having a national repute. For a plus 2 student, it is the first priority should be try to qualify the entrance exams conducted by national level institutions like ICES, NICES, and our Indian Institute of Science. See, once you qualify this entrance, you can join for the integrated BSMS programs in these institutions. So why I'm saying that you should do it in National Institute? Because I'm not saying that our state universities or our public funded colleges are not good. They are also doing extremely well in the field. See, why I am saying that you have to give the priority for a national institute is that you get more greater exposure in the field. There are good number of state universities and state colleges. They are doing extremely well in their domain. But when you have your studies in a national institute, your perception about the subject changes. You will interact with many students from different parts of the country. You will have the state-of-art facilities in these institutions. So, you try to qualify these entrance exams. Of course, all students cannot qualify the entrance exams conducted by the National Institute. So, don't feel that it is the end of their life. Many of our great scientists studied and worked in normal, what you call the government-run institutions. If you didn't qualify this national test, you try to get into the best institution near to your place. Once you join for a course, you go into the depth of the subject. What happens is, the students who are studying for BSc or MSc, they are just mugging up the things. Don't do that. Your reading from the lecture notes or notebooks has ended with your plus 2 classes. Once you join for the higher education, explore the subject, because in today's world, you have enough potential, right? You have the digital world, you have the internet, you have everything in your fingertips. So you try to understand what is happening in your domain, in your area of interest. So one problem why students find it difficult to find a job after their graduation or post-graduation is that they are not up to date with the subject. So imagine you are reading a textbook that has been published in 1960s. That is what most of the students does in colleges that I have found. See, is the science same in 1960s and 2023? No. Science has changed a lot, right? Every day new information is coming up. Whatever I learned in 90s is totally wrong in 2023. So suppose you are reading some books that has been published some 30, 40 years back. Will you get a job? No. So your first priority once you join for a course is you understand the subject by reading the standard reference books and also the latest informations from the journals. In most of our colleges, students don't read journals. But for a successful person, if you want to become a successful person in science, you should make a habit of reading the journals. So, what is a journal? I told you about our Chandrayaan mission. So, similarly, there are a lot of developments that is happening in science and technology. And these are happening because our scientists are working. We have recently during our COVID times, our scientists have developed vaccines. So all these things that we enjoy is because of the research work our scientists are doing in the lab. And whatever they does in the lab, they publish it. See, if I do something in my lab and I keep it myself, the world won't know. Science won't get recognition. If I want to get recognition, I should publish it. So journal is a document where researchers publish their primary research of primary document. It's a primary document where researchers publish their first-hand information they gathered from the laboratory, right? So now the question is whether as a BSc student, or MSc student, if you read the journal, whether you will be able to understand it. It's a difficult thing, I will say, but as the saying goes, slow and steady wins the race. You start reading journals now. Slowly, when you reach the level of PhD, you will be able to master whatever is written in these journals. So there are many journals, internationally reputed journals like Nature, Science, but these are not freely accessible. But in India also we have a couple of good journals which are freely accessible. If you find the Indian Academy of Sciences website, You will find Current Science, which is a multidisciplinary journal. And also there is another journal known as the Resonance. So I will recommend all the BSc, MSc students to at least go through these two journals, Resonance and Current Science. And in Resonance, even you can write your articles. So from any of the journals, there are thousands of journals. So you identify few journals which is close to your domain. You read it, you update your subject. Even while writing the university exam, please write it whatever is there in the journals. No, there is no harm in that. You won't lose any mark, right? So you update the things, and so this is the first step in moving forward in your science career, right? If your base is not strong, what will happen? There won't be a great future. So along with this journal reading, as a student, what you have to do is, you have to get maximum exposure in the science. Exposure will happen once you move out of your comfort zone. You have to move from your place and you have to visit various national laboratories. See, in science, you don't need any money. Government is supporting you with n number of schemes, right? If you are an undergraduate or postgraduate student, why don't you apply for the National Science Academy Summer Research Program? It's a wonderful thing. Just you have to apply, you have to write a proposal, submit it to the academy, they will screen, and if you get selected, you can work in the premier research institutions across the country. And that too with fellowship. You will get a good amount of money as a fellowship for 2 months, along with other travel expenses and your stay, everything will be taken care. So similarly, there are a lot of opportunities. IISF, India International Science Festival, it has been promoting science popularization across the country. So if you apply for IISF also, the government is taking care of your travel, accommodation, everything. So when you move out from your comfort zone to these types of events, you will understand what is happening in your field outside your state or outside your institution. So that is very much needed. You have to interact with the peer group, right? There are a lot of Nobel laureates. All of you may be dreaming about Nobel Prize, right? Of course, you can dream. Unfortunately, in India, we had only Sir C.V. Raman as the Nobel Prize winner. See, most of you in science, our dream is to become a Nobel laureate, right? Unfortunately, in India, we had only Sir C.V. Raman as the Science Nobel laureate. Of course, we have a couple of non-resident Indians who have won the Nobel Prize, Venkatraman Ramakrishnan, for elucidating the structure of ribosome. But so far, the true Indian who has won the Nobel Prize is Sir C.V. Raman. So, whenever you get a time, you try to interact with these Nobel laureates. There are opportunities to meet the Nobel laureates. The Department of Science and Technology is supporting you to visit the Lindo conference where the Nobel laureates comes. So there are a lot of opportunities to get interaction with this peer group. You directly interact with the scientist who has discovered something rather than your teachers, right? Teachers gets the secondary information. When you interact with the scientist, you are getting the primary information. So there is a slight difference. So get the information from the peer group. So that is also very important for the successful career. And for a postgraduate student, you have to focus on publishing articles. So now the question is, students always ask, can a BSc student or MSc student write articles? Of course. You can publish popular science articles. You can write science articles for magazines like Science Reporter, Science India, and there are a lot of regional science magazines will be there. So make it a habit to publish something. Nobody is stopping you. See, if you read the biography of Sir C.V. Raman, you will understand that he did most of his work out of passion, house or in his private space, not with an affiliated university or research center, right? So don't think that I need an office space, I need a lab. No. Sitting in your home, you can do wonderful research. If you have a keen passion, then you publish. Nobody stops you. So at least a couple of articles in popular science or in research journals you should have. Another important thing is science content is changing, because as you know, syllabi there is a restriction. Teachers will teach you from the syllabi. It won't be most up to date. So how can I up to date my subject? See, again, our government is supporting lot of initiatives like the UGC SWAYAM platform. You just Google it and find UGC SWAYAM. You get hundreds of different types of courses in SWAYAM platform, or NPTEL, that is managed by the IITs. And if you get a certification in these online courses, SWAYAM or NPTEL, it has got value. That means even for your job you can show these things. Botany student can study something in literature or computer science. A zoology person can learn physics. So this you have to undertake. And nothing stops you from gathering information. Only thing is you require the passion. And another important thing if you want to become successful in science is you have to shed your narrow-mindedness, compartmentalized thinking. In Indian setup, unfortunately, so far we have been following on physics, chemistry, botany, zoology, right thing. So in science there is nothing like that, right? When you study a photosynthesis, you are applying the knowledge of physics, chemistry, maths, even engineering concept in studying a simple process that is happening in plants. So how can you say that botany is not physics, botany is not chemistry? Don't think in that line. Today is the world of transdisciplinary learning. You have to shed your narrow-mindedness. You should also read arts, right? Literature. These are all needed for building a successful career. After your post-graduation, if you are really interested in academics or research, you go for PhD. And it is always better to do PhD in our country because India has got world-class infrastructure. And for doing PhD, if you qualify CSIR or examination, you get a good amount of fellowship that is sufficient or more than what you get as in your employment. So keep up your passion. Learning is a continuous process. Whatever you have learned, you make it as a habit to unlearn and relearn. Only a person who can unlearn and relearn will be able to become successful in this digital AI-dominated world. Thank you.